The Great Mandalorian Purge was one of the darkest and most devastating days in the history of the modern Mandalorian people, with the Galactic Empire ravaging their homeworlds and savagely killing a huge part of the Mandalorian population. Imperial Forces then stormed the Mandalorian clan homeworlds and scavenged as much Beskar Metal as they could as the spoils of war. So, I'm going to break down everything we know about the Great Mandalorian Purge before The Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 3 releases tomorrow on Disney+. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel with the bell button on to be notified as soon as I release my Mandalorian Chapter 11 recap plus breakdown video as soon as it releases. After the bloody and brutal siege of Mandalore, where Ahsoka Tano and the 332nd Company, in partnership with the Nite Owls, were able to remove former Sith Lord Darth Maul from the rulership of Mandalore, Katan Kryze became the Leader of House Kryze and was appointed as the Regent of Mandalore by the Republic. Unfortunately, a very short time after Bo-Katan took the position of Regent and the siege of Mandalore came to an end, the tragic day of Order 66 came, and the Republic was soon after transitioned into the Galactic Empire. When this happened, the Empire initially asked Bo-Katan to continue ruling Mandalore as the Imperial Governor of the planet, but because she refused to be a simple puppet of Palpatine and impose his will on the Mandalorian people, Bo-Katan was removed as Regent and replaced by the incredibly loyal Gar Saxon. Gar Saxon was Maul's top Mandalorian supercommando during his rule of Mandalore, but after Maul savagely betrayed him and left the supercommandos for dead during the battle, Gar Saxon's lust for power and desire to rule became so great that he was willing to work with the Empire to achieve his goals. After pledging himself to the Empire, Gar Saxon became the Imperial Viceroy and the Emperor's hand on Mandalore, with him and his Imperial supercommandos ruling the planet with an iron fist and being considered traitors by many of the other clans. During this time, Imperial Academy cadet Sabine Wren created a devastating and truly horrifying weapon known as the Duchess, which was able to incinerate the Mandalorian people in their own traditional Beskar armor. After realizing what she had truly created, Sabine defected from the Imperial Academy to join the Rebel Alliance, placing her clan, Clan Wren, under intense pressure to pledge their loyalty to the Empire to make amends for the actions of one of their members. Eventually, Sabine Wren came into possession of the dark Saber after it was collected from Maul's lair on Dathomir, and a massive battle broke out on the Clan Wren homeworld of Cronest. Gar Saxon's supercommandos engaged in a fierce firefight with the members of Clan Wren until eventually Sabine was able to defeat Gar Saxon in single combat, but could not bring herself to finish the job and kill the traitor to Mandalore. Luckily for her, however, she didn't have to, as her mother, Ursa Wren, also the leader of Clan Wren, blasted Gar Saxon with her weapon, ending his life immediately. After these events went down, Mandalore was of course left without a true leader. Because of this, Sabine Wren was welcomed back into Clan Wren after being exiled for so long and joined them on the search for the true ruler of Mandalore. Soon after, the Imperials placed another member of Clan Saxon into the position of Governor of Mandalore, Tiber Saxon, who was the brother of Gar Saxon, but of course, Clan Wren and the other Mandalorians would not recognize his rule. This sparked the formation of the Mandalorian Resistance, which contained a long list of clans and groups. So, I'll read that list to you now. The Mandalorian Resistance included Clan Eldar, Clan Kryze, Clan Rook, Clan Vizsla, Clan Wren, the Mandalorian Protectors, who weren't a clan but were the Royal Guards of Mandalore and pulled from every clan, the Nite Owls, and finally, the Alliance to Restore the Republic, who sent in the Spectres. Not long after they were formed, the Mandalorian Resistance then travelled to Mandalore, where Sabine Wren, with the help of Clan Wren, the Nite Owls and Fen Rau, were able to destroy the disgraceful superweapon that she was responsible for, killing Tiber Saxon, and finally putting an end to the illegitimate rule of Clan Saxon as they saw it. Immediately following this, Sabine Wren handed the Darksaber to Bo-Katan, who finally agreed to take hold of it and accepted her position as the true ruler of Mandalore. Bo-Katan was not confident that she could command the support of all of Mandalore's remaining clans, but she was very quickly assured by both Sabine Wren and Ursa Wren that their clan would stand with her. Moments later, all of the other clans of the Mandalorian Resistance, as well as Fen Rau's protectors, bowed down before Bo-Katan Kryze and pledged their allegiance to her as the true ruler of the Mandalorian people. Now this is the point where the story ties back into The Mandalorian Season 2 and the Great Purge that Moff Gideon spoke of. Sometime after Katan Kryze took back the rulership of Mandalore, the Empire sent their hordes of forces back to the planet in retaliation for the killing of Tiber Saxon and for the actions of their rebellion. During this event, Imperial Forces rolled mightily onto the surface of Mandalore and the other Mandalorian worlds, brutally slaughtering almost all of its citizens and gathering all of the Beskar that they could, presumably for use in the Empire's own weapons, ships, and other technologies. The Beskar was very quickly spread out and forged in Imperial smelters across the galaxy before being directed to the Empire and even used as a currency in some cases. During the Great Purge, Moff Gideon was also able to obtain the dark saber from its holder, Bo-Katan, although we still don't know how exactly this happened. It's possible that Bo-Katan was fairly defeated and killed in single combat against Moff Gideon, which would make him the rightful holder of the Black Blade and the true ruler of Mandalore. Personally, I don't see Bo-Katan allowing the blade to slip out of her hands unless she was brought to her very last breath trying to defend it and wouldn't let anyone take it until her body hit the floor. The other possibility is of course that Moff Gideon used his position in the Imperial Security Bureau alongside Wolf Yularen and others to obtain the blade without engaging in an honourable battle to earn the blade in combat. Of course, if Moff Gideon is revealed to not be a Mandalorian at all, then he would not care whatsoever about their ancient customs and traditions, so would have no problem using dodgy methods to win the blade. Many people are speculating, however, that Moff Gideon does have at least some relation to Mandalore, making it likely that he does respect these traditions. Either way, we do know that Bo-Katan will be appearing in the show, played by her Clone Wars voice actor Katie Sackhoff, which means we'll definitely learn exactly how she did lose the Darksaber, but it's not clear if she will appear only in flashbacks or in present time. Following the pillaging and slaughter of Mandalore, the very few survivors of the event went deep into hiding on the galaxy's most backwater and unremarkable planets, in hopes of remaining hidden from the Empire. Through this, the Mandalorians created the covert system, where they would group up into small hidden communities known as coverts. These coverts would live in the shadows and only emerge one at a time, in hopes of not drawing attention towards themselves. The most prominent of these coverts is called the Tribe, and of course was the one which contained Din Djarin, Paz Vizsla, the Armorer, and many others, before they were killed off and scattered across the galaxy. By the time of Palpatine's death, and later the Battle of Jakku, the Empire had all but fallen, but the governors and those in high-ranking positions refused to let go of their power, forming separate groups as remnants of the Empire. The Imperial Remnant, led by Moff Gideon, which operated on Navarro, also held one of the highest amounts of Beskar among the remaining Imperial remnants, often offering it to bounty hunters on big jobs, of course including the hunt for the child. Following that, we also know that there is a Mandalorian covert on the estuary moon of Trask, about one system over from Tatooine. Although it isn't confirmed yet, it is pretty likely that whoever Sasha Banks is playing will be part of this Mandalorian covert, which of course would mean she is playing a Mandalorian. The most popular theory for quite a while now has been that she will play Sabine Wren from Star Wars Rebels, but she could also be another Mandalorian that we know from the Mandalorian Civil War, or even the Siege of Mandalore. And finally, since we know that Bo-Katan is almost certainly going to appear, I predict that she will be a member of this covert on Trask, and will be introduced to Din Djarin in the next episode, where he is sure to finally arrive there. If this is the case, it's possible that most of the Nite Owls managed to survive the Great Purge, and Bo-Katan's loss of the Darksaber, and congregated into a covert on Trask. So let me know if you think we'll see Sabine, Bo-Katan, or any other Nite Owl in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.